Hello, welcome to another episode of Leo Interviews. Today we have Sean Swarner with us.
What's going on, man?
Nice to meet you. Let's go ahead and get into it. I read about you, and we would love it if you could share our amazing story with us.
I would be honored to do that. And I will try to keep it as succinct as possible because I'm going to try to get some people's attention. So I am the only person in history to climb Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world. I've climbed the highest mountain on every continent. I've skied to the South Pole. I've skied to the North Pole. I've completed the World Championship Ironman Triathlon in Hawaii, and I also ran 7 marathons in 7 days on all 7 continents. So no one in history has ever done that before, let alone doing it after 2 terminal cancers. I was given 3 months to live. I was told I had 14 days to live. I was in a coma for a year of my life, and I only have 1 functioning lung.
That's crazy. I mean, it's yeah. I don't know. It's speechless. I think if I were in your position, I probably would have already been dead. So.
A lot of people would, I think it's amazing what you can do when you have the right mindset. So for me, I was given the second cancer. When I was diagnosed with the second cancer, I literally had a 0.000000001% chance of living. But I didn't focus on dying. I didn't focus on not wanting to die. I focused on living. And just that simple perspective shift. As opposed to focusing on avoiding something I didn't want to happen. A perfect example. Let's hypothetically say you're walking down the street and you're telling yourself, don't trip, don't trip, don't trip. What's going to happen?
You're going to trip.
You're going to fall on your face. As opposed to thinking that, you tell yourself, stand tall, walk strong. So instead of not focusing on not dying, I focused on living.
Wow. What is your biggest challenge and how did you overcome it?
I would say the biggest challenge I've ever had was going through the cancers. And I overcame it through a bunch of different things. Positive mindset, modern medicine, family support, prayer, and an inner will to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I think as long as I didn't give up hope, I always had a chance.
I've never personally, climbed Mount Everest, but I've seen videos of it. What was it like climbing the big, fat mountain of just 100,000 million pounds?
Right.
Rock.
It was intense because next time you're outside, or actually next time you're in, I jokingly call it a pressurized tin can with wings. Right? Next time you're in a plane and you're hurtling through the stratosphere going at 600, 700 miles an hour, and the captain says, we reached our cruising altitude of 29,000 feet, right? Look out the window and up 35 more feet. That's how high Everest is. It's at the same altitude where when you look up and you see those planes flying by, that's how high Everest is.
Gosh.
So I had to climb it with oxygen. So I had an oxygen mask here that was connected to some tubes that was connected to almost like a scuba diving tank, right? But much lighter. So I could breathe through that going up. Because if we left from here to the top of Mount Everest, if somehow we could do it magically, just poof, arrive there, we would die within 3 to 5 minutes because our bodies aren't adjusted to the altitude because there's not enough oxygen up there to sustain life. So getting up there was amazing. The avalanches were out of control. The avalanches every day. It was so cold that I took a glass of boiling water and threw it in the air. And because it was so cold, it froze instantly.
That's crazy.
That's how cold it was. So I've been in temperatures where it's 100 below zero. So when I was at the North Pole, I picked up my satellite phone. I'm married now, so I called my girlfriend at the time. I asked her to marry me from the North Pole. She was in Puerto Rico where it was about 100 degrees. I was at the North Pole where it was minus 100 degrees. So if you look at that, there's a 200 temperature degree difference.
Gosh, that's crazy.
Insane.
Yeah. But honestly, it's kind of cool in how like just if you're in a very cold place and like you throw water, sometimes if you're lucky enough, it just turns into snow.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's how cold it can be.
exactly. That's how freezing cold it was.
Does the snow like make like the coldness any worse?
You know what? Interesting question, because when I was climbing Denali, which is the highest mountain in North America, it's up in Alaska, and we got more snow in 2 days than the Alaska range, the whole mountain range did that whole winter. And I remember waking up. I was sleeping in my sleeping bag that's rated to 40 below zero. And I remember waking up sweating because when it's that cold, this is going to sound really weird, but when it's that cold, snow becomes an insulator. So it actually warms you up. So I remember I threw open my sleeping bag. I rolled over and the tent was right here. I poked it and I knew that there was the snow was right on the tent. So I actually grabbed my avalanche shovel and I dug out from the tent and up into the snow to get out. And then we have these avalanche probes that kind of accordion in, and they were super long. And I was using those to find other tents around the area. So if I poked a tent, I would dig to that tent, dig around the campsite, go to another tent. And if you could look at from like, say, an aerial picture, it's almost like a cross section of an ant farm because we would dig out and then dig around, dig out and dig around.
So it's like like you go this way and this way and this way, that way, that way, that way, that.
Exactly,
Like,
exactly.
You can't choose one way just to go. You have to go this way.
Yeah, exactly.
This way.
Just random. But yeah, snow, when it's that cold, it actually warms things up. So also, I've made a number of igloos before, right? And I've slept in igloos where sometimes I don't want to sleep in a tent, build an igloo. With one candle, it actually freezes the inside and can warm up the temperature of the igloo a lot better than outside. And you can sit in ice and maybe not short sleeve shirt, but a long sleeve shirt and pants.
Wow, that's kind of crazy.
It's insane, yeah.
But I never knew that like it gets so cold that the coldness turns into heat.
Yeah, it's warmer.
Like, it breaks the laws of like
Physics.
It breaks Newton's laws. It breaks the laws of gravity. It breaks what else? The laws of heat and the freezing. Are there any laws left?
Yeah, it's the law of your mind. It breaks your mind.
Yeah. What is a way you think we can all change the world?
What's a way we can all change the world? Every morning when people wake up around the world, I would say the majority of human beings think about all the negative things that are happening in the world. War over here, religion over here, fighting over here, this over there. And we are all human beings and we're all more similar than we are different. But I think because so many people focus on the negative things in the world, that's what we're getting. So I think what we can do is just focus on something positive. Every morning I wake up, I say 3 things that I'm positive or that I'm grateful for. Usually I'm grateful for my wife, I'm grateful for my health. And then I think of one thing in the future that I want to happen as a goal of mine. And I think of that and I'm grateful for it being in the present moment. Not I'm going to be grateful for this when it happens. I'm grateful it's happening now. So I think if we could just change the mindset of human beings around the world to be more positive, to be more loving, to be more giving, to be more caring, I think that would make a huge difference in the world.
Mm-hmm. What is something? Sorry.
I would say, how about you? What do you think?
Oh, I mean, honestly, yeah, I feel like exactly like the world is just full of destruction. Like, if you were to, I don't know, like do 100 page essay or I don't know, but if you were to describe America in one word, most of the time it'd probably just be destruction, chaos, explosion, bomb. Maybe also, unhealthy food. But America, sometimes it's just destruction. It's just one big boom. So I think exactly like, taking the time to think and, being grateful for something really can affect someone's life and, make it better.
Yep. I've been to 70 more than 70 countries. I've experienced numerous cultures. I have friends from every religion. And like I said, we are more similar than we are different. We all want to be happy. We all want to be healthy. We all want to, have a loving family. We all want people to care about one another. We all have goals. How we get there is different, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I think just understanding that differences can also be very good. If everyone in the world was the same, this would be a boring place to live.
Yeah, I mean, like, be like, oh yeah, I'll have one order of just a regular pizza, and then they're like, you know what, at this point, we don't need to take the people's order. Just go ahead, start cooking it.
That's a great example. Yeah, you go to the pizza shop, or you pick up the phone or go online and you try to order a pizza. Well, what would you like to have today? We have one item.
Yeah, and the one item is probably the only thing that you're actually going to like, because everyone else is supposed to like it, and you're supposed to follow, so you're supposed to like it,
Yeah, it would be boring. So that's why I think if we just appreciate differences and respect differences, that's awesome.
Yeah, because I honestly, like, I think it would be cool, like doing like a challenge, like some crazy challenge on YouTube where today I only survived with one lung for like my entire life, like that's something cool, that like honestly it'd just be cool, it's something unique about you, and it's cool to have that, in many ways it's kind of awesome.
Thanks, I appreciate that. But I also think that anybody who's gone through something that's difficult in life, you can use that to become a stronger person. If you look at all the bad things that have happened in our lives, all the traumatic things that have happened, every difficulty, for example, we have survived 100% of our most difficult moments in life.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good record.
Yeah. Yeah. When you are scared, what is something that helps you feel brave again?
What is something that helps me feel brave when I'm scared? That's a great question. I have learned to tap into visualization. You know what visualization is?
Not a clue.
It's where you actually picture in your mind the event and the thing that you want. So, for example, what's one goal that you have?
Probably owning an actual studio, not recording this through like some, computer.
Okay, so
the computer's nice, but I would like to have the studio.
Yeah, so let's say you have a studio. What does that studio look like? What does it smell like? What's in there? So you picture in your mind exactly how you want it to be, but you have to you have to relax, be calm, settle down a little bit. You picture it, but the key component here is using all the senses you have. And then also tapping into how does it make you feel? Because it's not the stuff, it's the emotional attachment to that stuff. So I believe in the mind-body connection in a big, big, big way. It's called vivid visualization. And when I was going through my treatment, whenever I'm having a hard time, whenever I'm scared, I visualize in my mind something that makes me happy. For me, when I was going through my cancers, I visualized myself swimming the 50-meter breaststroke and coming out in first place. Right? And eventually it happened.
Yeah.
So the same thing with Mount Everest. I would visualize myself on the top of Mount Everest, stepping on the snow and hearing, this like styrofoam sound crunching underneath my feet. I could feel the sun be hitting my face, and I could smell the ozone. So whenever I'm scared, whenever I'm having a hard time, I will visualize myself somewhere else because I know that's something that I want, but I also understand that it's only temporary. So that difficult time, that scary moment, it'll never break me because I know it's only temporary.
Maybe I should try that, like with a giant meat lover's pizza. Just visualize myself finishing it, and then it might actually work.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. But if everybody's the same, you only get one pizza.
True. That would kind of stink. That would kind of stink a lot. What advice would you give to your younger self?
That's a great question. And I have thought about that a lot, but I'm going to turn it around on you because I can't go back and talk to my younger self, right? I don't have a time machine to go back.
Yeah, you can't go back in time.
Exactly. So for me, that question, I didn't think it would really help me back then. It doesn't help me now. So my question is, let's hypothetically say I could speak to my future self. What would that person tell me now? Because I know the person in the future is smarter, wiser, has more experience, right? So if I can talk to myself in the future, let's just say next year, I'm going to talk to next year, Sean. Next year, Sean is standing right in front of me. What does that person tell me? So I like that. Is that okay? Is that a fair question? Cool. My future self would tell me now that this year is going to be an amazing ride. Your book is going to be a tremendous success. You're traveling to 4 different countries, and hold on because it's going to be a fun year.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing. Well, that's going to be it for today's podcast. But before we close, is there maybe one more thing you would like to leave with the viewers?
One more thing, yes. And I'm going to turn this, it's going to be a question I'm asking you now.
Oh, okay.
Who do you speak more than anyone else every day? Who do you speak to more than anyone else?
Oh, gosh. It's a tough question. Oh gosh. Now I'm kind of in a pickle trying to think.
I'll give you a hint. It's not out there somewhere. It's in here.
Yeah. Sometimes it's my dog. Sometimes it's my mom, my dad. Yeah, sometimes.
How often do you speak to yourself?
I don't really know. Maybe 0.
Well, if you think about it, you're always talking to yourself.
Yeah. And now that I think about it, yeah.
So the person that you speak to most is yourself, right? For most people, the way they speak to themselves is very negative. Be careful. Don't do that. You're going to get hurt. Don't make a fool of yourself. Don't do this. Don't do that. Be careful, whatever it might be. Now, let's turn it around a little bit and say, would you want someone being that negative to you?
No, I don't think so.
So here's where I'm going with the question that you had. Then why do you do it to yourself?
Wow, that's honestly kind of a great question.
So that's it. Just a question for everybody to think about. Do you talk to yourself that way?
Well, that's gonna be it for today's episode. But before this is the final, totally final, and not foreshadowing. Is there maybe a website or somewhere where people can find out more about you?
Absolutely. They can go to my website, SeanSwarner.com. Sean spelled the proper way because I'm Irish and Scottish, and then just like the Warner Brothers, but with an S on the front.
That's good. Anyway, but remember how I said possible foreshadowing? Well, that's because we have a secret final last question that we do for every single podcast. So, I'm gonna make this very clear to you, okay? This is the big moment, okay? This is very big.
Got it.
All right. You have to answer with 100% honesty, okay?
Done.
Would you go for regular large cheese pizza or large meat lovers?
Meat lovers.
Nice, okay. We're probably gonna make like a poll on my YouTube channel. It's just gonna be which pizza would you go for? Meat lovers or just a giant regular cheese pizza?
Meat lovers. Meat lovers. Meat lovers.
Meat lovers are kind of good. Anyway, finally. That's gonna be it for today's episode, guys. Remember to like, subscribe, and until next time, guys. Bye.